Hi all, my name is Davis and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things tech. And today I would like to talk about a massive problem that's been brewing with portable gaming for a while now. And if you've been anywhere online over the past few months or so, you've probably been aware of it. On Instagram and TikTok, my feed has just been inundated with countless videos of young Gen Z people, one after another, clamoring over classic portable consoles like the Sony PSP and Nintendo DS. So the question is, why are younger people so desperate to get their hands on gaming consoles that are probably even older than they are? Well, my theory is that portable gaming has effectively died. I mean, yes, of course, there are portable consoles like the newly unveiled Nintendo Switch 2 and also the Steam Deck over here, but are we actually going to fool ourselves into thinking that this is a replacement for a PlayStation Vita? I mean, of course not. These older systems were brilliant because they were truly pocketable. Back when I was a kid, I would go out with my phone in one pocket and a PSP in the other in case I found some time to game on the bus home. Portable gaming is all about spontaneity. And there is no spontaneity with having to plan to bring a backpack just so that I could fit my Steam Deck into it. That is not fun at all. And it's just a bit sad that this current generation just doesn't have a device like that, because these newer portables are just so damn big. So I was reading a discussion about how the new Nintendo Switch 2 was so large when I saw this comment that made me think. The only portable consoles available are some $40 Aliexpress consoles. So then it was quite opportune when Aliexpress got in contact and actually wondered if I would make a video on the Miyoo Mini Plus, which is exactly one of those consoles. True story. In a world where the pocketable gaming console appears to be dead, are these mini emulation consoles the answer to my prayers? Well, that is what we are going to find out. So I would like to thank Aliexpress for sponsoring this video. As usual, their sponsoring of the video has not affected my reviewing of the Miyoo console, as you can purchase this and a wide range of other consoles there too. So back in March, I joined the Aliexpress Cashback Challenge, and through that, a lot of people saved on the Kodak Pixel camera that I talked about, and also a variety of other products that you can get from Aliexpress that are all very high quality. And because that went so well, I am doing it again. So if you join my team through the link in the description or via the QR code on the screen, you will earn at least 2% cash back, and the more you buy, the more you save. Up to 10% cash back, up to $1,000 Australian dollars. And of course, you can invite your friends and family to the event as well. So the event ends on the 30th of April 2025, so you do have to be quick to buy the Miyoo Mini Plus or any other item, including other gaming consoles, on the website. So let's see if the Miyoo Mini Plus can scratch that portable gaming itch. So while the prices may fluctuate, you can usually get a Miyoo Mini Plus for well under 100 Australian dollars, usually closer to around $60 to $70. So that is not a lot of money at all. That is significantly less than what a used PSP or 3DS would retail for these days. I think that a decent Vita costs around 400 Australian dollars. So this is a lot more affordable. However, despite all that, it does come inside quite a dashing looking box. And inside the box, not only do you get the console itself, but there's also a USB charging cable, a screen protector, and also this mysterious USB drive thing that I've just realized is probably a SD card reader. So my version came with a 128GB micro SD card that was filled with games already, but as a lot of people will probably mention, I would probably recommend getting another SD card, as these are very prone to breaking. And you don't want to be losing all of your game saves, as I imagine that might be rather traumatic. So now let's take a look at the console itself. And I have to admit that it feels way nicer in the hand than I was expecting, especially for the price. As we can see, I did get this, what they call a retro grey colour. And in this colour scheme, I do have to say that it does resemble a modernised original Game Boy. It's impossible to deny that it is one of the sleekest looking consoles that I have ever seen. And most importantly, it actually is portable. For example, let's compare it to the Switch Lite, the smallest of the Nintendo Switches. And while I would say that the Switch is almost pocketable, the Miyoo definitely is slipping into a pocket far more easily with no issues at all. And if we compare the Miyoo to the Steam Deck, Well, it's no comparison. I mean, just look at the difference in size. So on the front of the Miyoo, it's dominated by a 3.5-inch 640 by 480 display, and it's actually surprisingly nice. It's far nicer than what you would have seen on something old and classic like a PSP. And the resolution and aspect ratio also makes it perfect for playing PS1 games. The colors are bright and pretty saturated. The resolution is relatively sharp, and while it doesn't get super bright, it is okay for most indoor use, and being an IPS display as well, the viewing angles are very good too. I also just love how thin the bezels are. I mean, just look at that. I think it's the thinnest bezels I've ever seen on a gaming console, which to be fair doesn't say a lot, but it really does look like a console from the 21st century at least. Underneath the display, we do have a collection of buttons, and they're quite traditional. We do have a D-pad, which is very nice and clicky indeed. We have 4 navigational buttons. We've got start, select, the normal stuff like that. We've got a mono speaker in the corner, which it works. Underneath, we do have a headphone jack. We've got a micro SD card reader and also the USB-C port. On the left, we do have the volume buttons, and on the top there is a small power button. And finally, on the back, we do have quite a pronounced ledge where we do have the shoulder buttons as well. And underneath here is the battery. Not triple or double A's, luckily. It's just a lithium-ion battery, which means it's rechargeable. And while the design is very cool, I think what impressed me more than anything else is the build quality. Remember, it's a very affordable console, but this material sort of feels like that really high quality polycarbonate that we saw on Nokia Lumia devices. Everything just feels really, really solid. There's no creaks and squeaks. All the buttons feel really reassuring as well, and they are rather tactile too. So we like the hardware, but what is it actually like to use an affordable emulation device like this one? So I do have to say that out of the box, the UI isn't the best. So I have done what everyone on the internet has suggested and downloaded Onion OS. And it's really, really easy to install. All you do is download it and then load it onto the SD card. And once you put it into the console, it loads automatically. It's very easy to do indeed. And once you've got it installed, Onion OS is remarkably nice to use. It's a very nice operating system. So as you can see, you can change the theme. I've chosen something very cute and corny. Please don't judge me. So from the main menu, you can access your favorited games. As we can see, I've got a small selection. We've also got access to all of your games. As there are thousands of games pre-installed, it is quite exhausting to filter through. We've also got access to a variety of apps that you probably will not use, and of course you do have your settings as well. And basically on here you can emulate anything up to around the PS1 era. So I'll go through some of the games in a bit, but I was actually surprised how well PS1 games worked on this, and even some Nintendo DS titles, although they are a little bit hit or miss due to the nature of only having one display. So one of the main advantages of installing Onion OS as well is that not only do all of your games automatically save when you quit, but you can also switch between your save states very easily by just pressing on this middle button over here like so. And we can see that these are all of the games that I have been playing. It's a fantastic selection indeed. So now let's see how this thing plays some games. So when I first heard about this console, my mind automatically went to Game Boy games, as this is what the Miyoo sort of resembles. And luckily there are literally thousands of Game Boy games that are already installed on the system. So if we take a look here, I do have Pokemon. I believe that this is Pokemon Silver/Gold. I'm not too familiar with the series, but as we can see, the colors look very bright indeed, and it works very well. It is absolutely adorable. But you know, as fun as this is, let's try playing a game that I would actually consider playing. So let's try Mario Kart Super Circuit. Now this was a game that I played to no end on my Palm Pre when I was younger, but while that phone had a keyboard, it was a little bit tricky controlling the kart with those tiny buttons. But as we can see here, there is no issue here as we've got nice proper buttons. So let's try it out. So let's try Mario GP 100cc because I'm not feeling brave at the moment. Let's choose Bowser because he's nice and heavy. let's see if I can get a good start. And no, I didn't, I missed it. So as we can see here, it plays remarkably well, even if my driving is not good at all. Red shell U, and God. I think I've forgotten how difficult 2D Mario Kart is. I'm not sure if you actually need to drift. It's a bit easier now that I'm not drifting, but I am still 8th. I think that is probably enough Super Circuit. Oh, I'm 7th now. So as you can see, as expected, this is a pretty good console to play all of your favorite Game Boy games. It's got a nice crisp display for that. And however, Game Boy games aren't really for me. So now let's switch to the next console. Let's try something a little bit harder. Let's try a DS game. And what better than the sequel, which is Mario Kart DS. Now, I was a little bit unsure about this one. As you may have noticed, the Miyoo only has one display, but the DS has two. But luckily, most DS games don't actually make the most use of the secondary display. So games like Mario Kart DS actually work pretty well. So if you do need to view both displays, like you do when selecting from the menu over here, you can just press this button over here and also left and right to switch between various modes. So that's nice and easy, like so. And you can actually switch between the displays by pressing this R2 button over here. So we can swap them around like so. And you can use this button to bring up the stylus. So L2 brings up the stylus. So you can still use the touchscreen at a pinch. So I do have to admit that I wasn't really a big player of the DS version of Mario Kart. In fact, I've never actually played it before. So let's see how it goes. I was a bit of a late bloomer into Mario Kart. I started with Mario Kart 7 on the DS, and that's because I thought that this game was for kids. But I realize now that it is far more difficult. I do like to pretend that I'm quite good at Mario Kart 8 though. And as we can see here, the mechanics actually haven't changed that much. Still drift in a similar way, although you do have to wag your D-pad a little bit more in this version. And the items still work quite similarly. And although the DS was quite an underpowered console, especially compared to the PSP, I think on the Miyoo, especially with the nicer display, it does look quite good. And the frame rate, although I can't see exactly what it is, it feels roughly 30 frames a second. So I'm assuming that's pretty close to native. And let's do one more lap, shall we? So we can drag our green shell behind us. Apparently they are changing how that works in the next game. You don't have to hold down anymore. And I do find that quite disappointing. So I do consider it an advanced technique. And there we go, boosting. And isn't that fantastic? So as we can see, if you do want to play a few DS games here and there, depending on which one it is and how much you need to use that secondary display, it actually is quite playable. Although I'm not sure if coming in 5th place is considered playable, but there we go. That is Mario Kart DS. Okay, so now let's finally try something a little bit harder. Let's try a PS1 game, probably what we're all here to find out. And to do so, let's test it with the original Gran Turismo. So similar to Mario Kart DS, this is a game that I've never actually played before. I played the second one quite a bit, but I never actually played the original Gran Turismo. But here we are. So let's see what a driving simulator was like from 1997. So let's choose arcade mode. Apparently these graphics were among the best you could get at the time. So let's do normal difficulty because I'm feeling very courageous. And Aston Martin DB7. I still think that this is one of the most beautiful cars of all time. And let's pick Trial Mountain, because how can you not pick Trial Mountain, one of the most iconic tracks of all time? And I do have to say that although PS1 graphics do look a little bit dodgy on a larger screen like on a Steam Deck, when you've got something that's only 3.5 inches, it actually looks remarkably nice. And because we are playing at a native resolution, everything looks like how it's supposed to. Going for the overtake there. I think this is a 30 frames a second game, and there's no slowdown at all, it feels like. Oh God, I've spun. That's great. Performance is pretty good. Let's try changing the view so it's a bit easier to control. And there we go. So fun fact, Gran Turismo was released right after the DualShock analog stick controller came out. But as at the time, most people didn't have that updated controller. It's still very playable with a D-pad. And as we don't have analog sticks on this, luckily the D-pad does work nicely. Yeah, there's no slowdown at all. It's playing very well actually. Oh, I'm not sure if I like this closer view. But yeah, I'd say this is a great way to play Gran Turismo. Look at that. It's hard to believe that this game's it's over 25 years old now. It's almost 30 years old. Let's do the famous corner cut. I'm still in last place, but look at that. I think Gran Turismo plays absolutely brilliantly. So I do have to say that out of all of the consoles that we tried today, somehow the PS1 just feels the most natural on this hardware. It might just be the resolution of the display that perfectly fits the console, or it might just be the control layout, but the Miyoo really plays PS1 games quite brilliantly. Okay, so now that I've used the Miyoo Mini Plus for a little while now, does it really fill the gap in the market for a truly portable gaming console that actually fits in a pocket? Well, I believe yes. I mean, sure, it is just an emulation device, so you aren't going to see new and exciting titles for it. But in regards to reigniting that passion for gaming on the go, being that device that you just slip in your pocket and play for 5 minutes while you're waiting for the train, I think that the Miyoo Mini Plus is perfectly positioned to fit that bill. It really is the perfect console for playing all of your favorite childhood games on the go. And I really do hope that the major console makers are taking notice of devices like this and will create pocketable consoles again, so that Gen Z hopefully do have a proper childhood. Again, I would like to thank Aliexpress for making this video possible. If you would like to save on a Miyoo Mini Plus or similar console, be sure to follow the link in the description and join my team. You do have until the end of the month to do so. Otherwise, please give me a like and also comment what your favorite gaming console to emulate is. I hope that you are having an amazing day, and on that note, toodaloo.